Okay, yesterday I just told you that you can simply create objects of different classes, right? And I created the object of Firefox driver out here. Okay, now there are different drivers in Selenium. Okay, so we will study those and we will study interfaces. Okay, so out here you have got Firefox driver. Sorry, you have got Chrome driver, you have got iDriver. Okay, different drivers are there. All right, so I'll make a new Java project. Okay, and call it drivers under or day 3. Okay, in this day 3 we will add external jars. Guys, are you able to hear me clearly? Are you able to hear me clearly? When we work with Selenium, we have to work with all the browsers. Okay, and when you have to work with all the browsers, your script should be running on all the browsers. So for every browser, we have a particular driver. Yesterday, I had made the Selenium drivers class. Okay, I will copy it and I will paste it under the source folder. Okay, there are different driver classes in Selenium. We studied Firefox driver and you had to download this Gecko driver exe for Firefox driver. Okay, similarly, you have Chrome driver class. Okay, right. Chrome driver is responsible or is used to work with Chrome. To work with Chrome, you need to download this Chrome driver exe. Okay, go to seleniumhq.org, right, and go to the download section. And if you scroll down, you will see third-party browser drivers. Okay, this is the Google Chrome driver. You click on this link, latest, and you download it from this link. Okay, download it for your operating system. This Windows 32-bit zip will work on 64 as well as 32-bit Windows. Okay, in my PC, I have it over here, Chrome driver.exe. So to work with Chrome, you need to write the line out here, that is system.setProperty webdriver.chrome.driver, and you need to give the path of Chrome driver exe. Okay, right, you have to write over here Chrome driver.exe. Fine. Okay, system.setProperty webdriver.chrome.driver and path to exe. Then you create the object of Chrome driver. Okay, you create the object of Chrome driver and you write Chrome driver.get, that is go to the URL http, and you can give any URL, for example google.com again. Oh, what to do. So for every browser you have a driver and its exe as well, right? Okay, so I will just comment out these lines for Firefox, and I will run this code. Right, and it reaches google.com. Fine. Okay. Similarly, in the same way, you can work with AI. Okay. Now, for working with Chrome, make sure you have downloaded the latest version of Chrome and latest version of the exe file. Okay, sometimes what happens is Chrome gets auto updated. All right, and this exe file is older, so you get issues. Fine, so make sure you have download every month whenever the new version of Selenium comes up, or every month, just download the exe file again. Okay, right. Now you have got Internet Explorer driver. Right. If I just write in Eclipse, enter, INTER. Okay, if I just write enter, and if I hit control space bar, and I can write Internet Explorer driver, okay, I equals to new Internet Explorer. So if you write INTER and hit control space bar, you will get the option. From these options, one of the options you can select the one which you want, and you can move forward with it. Okay, so it helps you to narrow down your results, right? And for I, you need to download another exe file, okay, from the Selenium website, right? Go to the official website, and under the download section, fine, you will see that Internet Explorer driver server. All right, and it says that the downloaded version is for 32-bit I or 64-bit I, depending on the I. If you have 32-bit I or 64-bit I, download the exe file. Okay, I have it downloaded over here. Okay, and give the command, that is system. Look, system is an internal class in Java. Inside it, there are different static functions. For example, set property is one of the static functions in the system class. So you can directly call it with the class name. Okay, I told you yesterday, right? Static can be called directly with the class name. So you write system.setProperty WebDriver.I.driver. Okay, to the value. The value would be the path of the exe file. Okay, hold on. Right, this is the exe path. Uh-oh, just a minute. All right, and then you can write I dot get, that is go to the URL, right, google.com. So if you run this code, see that it, oh, Just it reaches google.com. Fine. But for I, you have to be careful in few things. Okay. Firstly, you should turn off your protected mode, go to tools, Internet Explorer options, and under this go to security, and there will be four sections over here. Disable this checkbox, enable protected mode for all four of them. Okay, you have to disable the protected mode in I. Right. Apart from that, make sure that the zoom level in I is set to 100%. Okay. At times, zoom level in I is not set to 100%. You have to make sure about that. How do you do that? You can just go to I and go to view, hold on, view zoom to 100%. Okay. Another thing is get go to tools options and go to advanced settings. Scroll down and you will see that, just a minute, under security, please check this box, allow active content to run files in my computer. Okay, so three things. First is disabling protected mode. Second is this checkbox, allow active content. And third is zoom level should be set to 100%. Okay, right. Now, similarly, you have got another driver. These days, Microsoft Edge has come up. Okay, so you have another driver known as Edge driver, and you can create the object of Edge driver. Okay, right, and you need to download an exe file for your Edge driver. Okay, so for that, you have to download it from the Microsoft website actually. Okay, so you can go to seleniumhq.org, which is the official website of Selenium, and you can scroll down and you go to the bottom and you will see that Microsoft Edge driver. Click on this. It will open the Microsoft website. Okay, and from the downloads you can download it. Right, if I open Edge on my PC, and after opening Edge, this is the setting. You go to your settings, right, and in the settings you will see that you have this, just 1 minute, view advanced settings. Not getting clicked. Just 1 minute, it crashed. Hold on. Go to settings, and after going to settings, my Edge is crashing. Just 1 minute. I'll close all the tabs. I don't want so many tabs open. Maybe that's why it's crashing. Okay. So after this, you go to settings, and inside the settings, you scroll down and you will see that it will say the version Microsoft Edge 42.1734.1.0 and HTML this. So over here, you will see that it's mentioned the Edge supported version. Okay, so search your version and look at these versions, and then, right, depending on that, you download the exe for Microsoft Edge driver from this link. Okay, Right, fine. Now after this, give the line system dot set property WebDriver dot edge dot driver. This is for the Edge browser. Alright, and you give the path of your edge driver dot exe which you have downloaded. Alright, you can give the path in this path. This is the exe file. Fine. You give the path of this exe, right, and create the object of edge driver and write edge driver dot get. Go to the URL http google.com. Right. Okay. I should have done this in today's file actually. I should have done this out here. So this will open up Edge and it will take you to Google. If I comment this code and if I run this program, you will see that Microsoft Edge will open up. It throws an exception. Hold on. Okay, if you have exception coming up, don't worry, just read it. What is happening or something. I will close Edge and I will run it again. Okay, it's throwing an exception. Connection reset socket exception. Maybe the port number on which Edge is working is currently, closed. So I need to check this out after. I'll check this out after the class. But this is how you can work with different browsers: Firefox, Chrome, IE, Edge. Okay, you can work with different browsers. Now the question which arises is that to work with different browsers, you have to write different code. You have to create the objects of Firefox driver, Chrome, IE, Edge. You have to create the objects of every driver separately. Okay. Now the question which or the doubt which comes in the mind is that if I'm creating object of every driver separately, then will I have to write a separate code for every driver? If I have to automate a certain flow, will the code for every browser or every driver will it be different because every browser has got its own driver and those drivers have got their own commands. I hope you got my point. Right, for example, I'll give you a situation. I'll create a new class known as dynamic browser. With the main function. Okay, suppose the requirement is that if I write over here string browser, okay, equals to Mozilla. Fine, that means my script should run on Mozilla browser. If I change this browser to Chrome, then whatever script I am writing out here should be working on Chrome browser. Okay, so your browser name is single, but the script which you are writing, okay, it should work on the browser which you mentioned over here. You don't have to change your script again and again. Okay, guys, please keep your microphone on mute. I request, please keep your microphone on mute. Right. Okay, now you can write if the browser is equal to Chrome, then you can write the code for Chrome, that is system.setProperty. You can write over here, you can create the object of Chrome driver, Chrome driver.get google.com, right? And then you can put the else statement, that is else if the browser is Mozilla, then webdriver.gecko.driver, and you have to give the path of geckodriver.exe. You can write over here Firefox driver fd. Okay, right, you create the object of Firefox driver, take it to Google, but this doesn't make sense. Okay, I'll tell you, hold on. Similarly for I also, you can put up a separate else if, right? You can write over here this code, and else if the browser is I, then you create the object of I driver, and you can write system.setProperty, okay, webdriver.i.driver. Fine. Okay. But for every driver class, will I write a separate code like this? If I have to go to Google, if I have to click on a link, will I write a separate piece of code for every driver to click on a link out here? Will I have to write it separately? Okay, fine. So this is the problem. The problem is we don't know whether to write, how to write the dynamic code. Okay, if I'm trying to write, then I'll have to repeat the code for every browser. Okay, so out here what happens is the concept of interfaces, it comes up. Interfaces out here help us to, interfaces help us to resolve this issue. Okay, fine. Now what are interfaces? For example, um, just a minute, there is some voice. Yeah. For example, if you go to any restaurant and you have to have food over there, you order from the menu. So menu is like an interface for you. It tells you that what the restaurant is offering. Okay, right. You cannot actually judge how the food will be, but at least you come to know that what the restaurant is offering. Similarly, you have uh, you have to buy a book. Okay, if you have to buy a book, then you go to a bookstore, and just while looking at the cover face of the book, okay, you come to know that fine, the book is about these things. So the cover face is like an interface for you. Okay, the cover face of the book is like an interface which tells you that what the book is all about. Fine. So we will work like this, and what I will do is that we will, hold on, we will create a new interface. So you have got interfaces in Java as well. Interfaces in Java help us to generalize the system, to tell what the system is all about. Fine. For example, I will create an interface known as a bank. Okay. You declare the banking functions, that is public void deposit or credit. So credit and debit are two banking functions. In the interface, you don't have the function bodies. You just declare them. You just tell that fine, these two are the functions in the bank interface. Okay. Just by looking at the interface, the end customer, he will come to know that fine, are the features of bank, credit or debit. Okay, right. Now you don't have the body of the function, you just mention the names. All right. And if I have a new class, like I'll create a class like HSBC Bank. Fine. So what we do in Java is that we write public class this implements the bank interface. Okay. Implements is the keyword. This class is there. It implements the bank interface. If a class is implementing an interface, it is mandatory for that class to implement all the functions of the interface. Okay, that is why it is throwing an error over here. If bank is implementing HSBC Bank, then move the mouse over the error, say add unimplemented functions. Both the functions credit and debit will come up, error will go. This class will have to implement both the functions. Okay, even if I remove one of them, it will start throwing me an error. Okay, so it becomes mandatory for class to implement all the functions. At the rate override, this is something like this is known as an annotation. It just symbolizes that this class is coming from the interface. You can remove it as well. Okay, this simply means that this function is coming up from this class. Okay, now credit. I'll just print over here HSBC credit. And for debit, you can use HSBC debit. Okay, so you have the HSBC bank class which is implementing the bank interface, and both credit and debit functions are coming up from the bank interface inside this class. And if a class is implementing an interface, it is mandatory for that class to implement all the functions of the interface. Alright, fine. Now what is the use of interface? I will come over to it, just be with me, in some time you will come to know. And similarly, I can create a class known as, say, Citibank, which will also implement the bank interface. You can write implements bank, and you move the mouse over there, add an implemented function, and you just print inside it a city credit. City debit. Okay, so we will credit from Citibank, we'll debit from Citibank. So you have got these two functions. So Citibank is implementing a bank interface, and if it is implementing this bank interface, it becomes mandatory for the Citibank to implement all the functions of the interface. Okay, right. Now, the thing is, what we did was that we created one interface and we created two classes implementing the interface. Okay, these two classes. Right, in the interface, you had the functions credit and debit, which was just declared. There were no bodies. So in both the classes, after implementing, I created the functions mandatorily, credit and debit. Right. What is the use of this? I could have directly made HSBC Bank and Citibank classes. Okay, I could have directly made both those classes and I could have directly put the functions credit and debit in both those classes. Why did I do like this? What did I achieve? Okay, the thing is, we did this because interface it gives a kind of structure to the application. Okay, interface it gives, you can say, structure to the application. If tomorrow a new class comes up, if a new class comes up tomorrow, then that will also have both these two functions. So for a layman looking at the code, it will become really easy to understand, right? Okay, the function names will be same in both the classes. I'll just create a new class known as test.java. In this, I will create the object of HSBC Bank, and you can write h.credit, h.debit, fine. And you can create the object of Citibank, and you can write c.credit, c.debit. Okay, you can create the objects of HSBC Bank and Citibank, and the function names will be the same, only the calling objects are different. Okay, right. So when you run this, you see that it prints HSBC credit, debit, Citi credit, debit, right? Okay. So in Java, sorry, in Selenium, what we have is that we have, uh, hold on. If I go to seleniumhq.org and if you go to the download section, you will see that under the Java doc, which is the documentation, right, you will see that there are a lot of classes and some of them are in italics. The ones which are in italics are the interfaces. Okay, for example, for example, this thing out here, mouse. Technically, technically, mouse is an interface, and there are different classes like event firing mouse, remote mouse. Okay, all these are the implementing classes. Okay, event firing mouse, remote mouse. So the thing is, context double fine. Okay, so these are the implementing classes. So the thing is, if you scroll down, you will see that there is something known as a WebDriver written. Okay, this will be out here. No, no, no. This is abstract. Yeah, this is WebDriver written in italics. So a WebDriver is basically an interface. Technically, everything starts from the interface WebDriver in Selenium. Okay, technically WebDriver is an interface and all your driver classes, Chrome driver, Edge driver, event firing WebDriver, okay, all your driver classes, these are the implementing classes. Alright, fine. So if you look carefully, then all these classes will have the same set of functions which are there in the interface WebDriver. In the interface WebDriver, there are functions which help you to deal with the browser. For example, close, get, or which will load a URL, find the element on the web page, okay, get the title of the web page, right? So these functions are there in the WebDriver interface, and all these functions will be there in all the driver classes. So basically, all the driver classes have the same set of functions like we had in case of HSBC Bank and Citibank. Okay, credit and debit, right? Because both of them was implementing the same interface. Similarly, all the driver classes implement the same interface. They will have the same set of functions. Okay, right. So the question to the first problem which I told you, that if in dynamic browsers, if I have to write a code which works on all the browsers, okay, one thing is clear, that the function names will be same in all the driver classes. Like the get function everywhere takes you to the website. Okay, if I write over here chrome driver dot get title will give you the title of that website. Okay, firefox driver dot get title will give you the title of that website. idriver dot get title will give you the title of that website. Okay, so one thing is sure, that the functions will be the same, but still it doesn't solve our problem. That is, we are writing separate piece of code for every browser. Okay, inside if statement. Fine. So we have to write a single piece of code, and the solution to this problem also comes up from the concept of interface. Okay, I will show you. I'll go to test.java. And till now we have created the object of interface like this. Okay, I am going to create the object in a little different way. Now I am going to create the object in a little different way, and what we will do is that I will write over here bank B equals to new HSBC bank. Now this line is different and this line is different. Okay, out here I am keeping the reference of interface equals to object of the class implementing the interface. Okay, this is the reference of the interface, and this is the object of the class implementing the interface. Okay, right. Now, how is this line different from this line? What is the difference? Okay, suppose in my HSBC bank, I have one more function known as public void private banking, which is not coming up from the interface, which is the proprietary function of this class. It is present only in this class, right? Okay, so this function is not there in the interface. It is the proprietary function of this class. HSBC as a bank is offering an extra service. Okay, so out here from my HSBC object, I can access this. I can write out here H dot private banking. Citibank object will not have this, but my bank interface reference, this thing, okay, I can call over here. I can write B dot private banking. No, I can write B dot credit. I can write B dot debit. This will call the HSBC class functions, but you cannot call this. So this way you cannot access the proprietary functions which are there inside the class. This way you can only access those functions which are coming from the interface inside the class. From this interface, whatever functions are coming in the class, you can access them this way. Okay, right. So if I run this, you see that it's writing HSBC credit and debit over here. So what is the advantage of this? This way you cannot access this function, which is proprietary function. But why do we then write this way? Why do we then create the object? Okay, the reason is that this B is pointing towards HSBC Bank. I could have also created the object of bank B1 equals to new Citibank. Okay, this way you could access the functions which are there in Citibank coming up from the bank interface. Okay, you could have written B1 dot credit and B1 dot debit. Okay, you could have written there like this. This will call the Citibank. Okay, if I run this code, it will call Citi credit, Citi debit. But based on my choice, I can make B1 point towards new HSBC Bank later on. The same reference of the interface B1, I can make it point towards the object of HSBC class. Okay, right. And if I give the same commands B1 dot credit and B1 dot debit, then this will call HSBC. The commands are same. The commands are same. This too is giving you an output for this two, and these two are coming up from B1 dot credit and debit at the bottom, right? So commands are same, but the concept is that B1 is pointing towards Citibank over here, and then B1 starts pointing to HSBC Bank. Maybe I can also write like this: like bank b2 equals to null. Based on my choice, I can make b2 point towards new HSBC bank, or I can make b2 point towards new uh, Citibank. Okay, right. And if I write over here b2 dot credit, and if I write over here b2 dot credit, so this will call the credit function in HSBC, and this will call the credit function in Citi. The reference is same, you are just moving it across different objects. If you run this, see that first HSBC, then Citi. Now, till now we have been creating the objects in Selenium like this. For example, for Firefox, we had created the object like this. For Chrome, you had created the object like this. Okay. Now, based on your choice, you can also write like this WebDriver. Okay, because WebDriver is the interface, and you are pointing it to the reference of, you are pointing it to the object of the class implementing the interface. Okay, and WebDriver d2 equals to new Chrome driver. Okay, fine. So d1 and d2 are references of WebDriver interface. They can be made to point the classes implementing the WebDriver interface. Firefox driver and Chrome driver are the two classes which implement the WebDriver interface. Okay, I can write over here d1, or I can also write like this, that on the next line I can make d1 only point towards new Chrome driver. Okay, fine. Alright. So you can implement the same thing in this dynamic browsers class which I had made. You don't need to write these lines. All you can do is you can simply hold on. You can simply declare your WebDriver interface. A reference. Okay. You can declare your WebDriver interface reference. Based on the browser, you can point it towards, you can write driver equals to new Chrome driver, or you can point it towards Mozilla. You can write driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, or you can make driver point towards new Internet Explorer driver, because every driver class is separate, and based on your choice you can make driver point towards Chrome driver or Firefox, or either reference will be of the interface. Okay, fine. And later on, after the browser has launched, you can write the code over here because the functions are same. Driver.get http google.com. So you will have one browser out here, and just by changing the name of the browser you can launch a different driver. So if you run this code, this time Chrome will launch, and it will take you to Google. I'll change it to Mozilla. and Mozilla will launch, it will take you to Google. So just by changing one parameter over here, you can launch the program in different browsers. So this is the advantage of interface. The first advantage is that all the classes implementing the interface will have same set of functions. Okay, HSBC Bank and Citibank both had the same function. The second advantage is that you can have single reference of an interface pointing towards different objects of the class which implement the interface. B2 could point towards HSBC Bank or Citibank. Driver can point towards Firefox driver or Chrome driver. The reference you take for the interface. And this helps us in solving the problem to dynamically launch the browser. Okay, fine. So we will stop here. I won't do any further. Okay, I think it is enough. Right. Just practice this. Just write this code. Watch the video. Alright. Fine. The next class will be on Monday morning Indian time, which is Sunday evening US time. Okay. Right. So I will stop here. Anybody with any questions? Any questions regarding the course, regarding anything? Okay, if you want to join the training, you can come on the live chat of the website. Suresh, we will email you the recordings. For the first 2 days, we have emailed you the recording. Yeah, Amrita. You can come on the live chat of the website right now. We can help you. Go to qtpselenium.com and you will see a live chat option over there. Just come over on the live chat. Around 5, 6. Fine then. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Just come on the live chat of the website in case you want to join the training. Okay.